Hello everybody, how we doing? I'm here, it's freezing in this basement. I have to turn the heater off so we don't pick it up on the mic. But it's good to be here. Alright, I'll do one last little hair adjustment. That's gonna have to. Oh, it's even worse now. Oh, man. Sorry, this live's gonna be about my hair. Alright. One more time. There we go. Alright. I'll stick with that for now. Right. Who've we got here? Do say hello. So today what we're doing is we're going to have a look at this template again. That's what we're going to do. We're going to add and then maybe do a splurge. We're going to add some stuff to it. I was wanting to work on it on the slide during the weekend, but I thought no, leave it. Wait. Let everybody else see what you're going to do. Hi Stelly, how you doing? So that's it, the template. Alright, Graham. I wonder who else is here. Says there's 4 people. I still wonder what the best time to stream is. Not that I'd be able to do it because this is the best time for me. I'm assuming an evening. I suppose it's getting the best time where it crosses multiple time zones. That's what I need to work out. Graham, what time do you reckon would be the best time to stream to catch multiple time zones? You're quite good at this. You'd be able to quickly research that and give me an answer in 2 seconds. So, anybody been up to anything interesting while I drink my coffee here? Any musical adventures, anybody? Well, I did an absolute ton of playing over the weekend. It was brilliant. And I'm hoping to get some new plugins soon. But I'll not say what. Yeah, I'll check that out. I think it's California. No sleep. It's a hard one. Actually, I think I got some decent sleep. I think last night. Yeah. Afternoon, evening. I know I've seen Thomas stream, when Thomas has been streaming. I know he played about with sort of 3 o'clock start, and then afternoons, but I suppose the majority of what we've done has always been in the evening, which is, you know, served us fine. Right, God knows what my hair's like at the back. I think it's a right mess. I think it's like an explosion in a mattress factory today, I'm afraid. All right then, so let's have a look at the template. Bang. All right, here we are again. This is also true, Graham. Yes, if they're loyal, they'll be there. Within reason. All right, and let's have a look. So, I'll just delete what we were doing. In fact, no, I'll need it, don't I? Okay. So one thing I can do is I can start adding a little bit of side chaining. So we need track spacer. So, which is my preferred method of doing this. I tend to just add that right at the end of everything. Pretty much. And then we're going to set that to drums, kick 1. If it'll allow me. Okay. Oh, wait a minute, have I got on something else? Input. Drums should be in kick 1. There we go. So that's the first thing. I don't think. It's really weird. The last mix I did didn't actually require any. Oh, my alarm's going 2 seconds. Oh no, it's a different phone. Right, okay. Okay. And then the next thing is to do our bus effects. So I'm sick of this tune now. I'm gonna basically make another one in a minute. So what I prefer to do is just to create a channel. Have it in red. Bus. Okay. And then on here, dead symbol. utility in case I got to do a bit of gain staging. And then we're going to have fab filter. Pro Q. And of course, we need to send everything to this, so drums. And what? Right. Okay, that's everything into that bus except the reverbs. Sounds great, that reverb, doesn't it? Okay. Anyway, they need to go into the bus as well for now. And we'll set this up. Good, that's all silent. Put that onto input. That has to be no input. So, any questions, just ask as I'm going along. And then I just do a little bit of a low cut. And that is it. And then finally, we want SSL, which is here somewhere. SSL, bus compressor. Pop that in, check the chart. Okay, and then we've got two sort of choices we can do here. So So it sort of depends on kind of what sound you want. Like sometimes, like I just have it set on auto because that gives it more of a gluey sound. But if you want it to sort of pump along, then I just basically turn the release to where I can see the needle sort of bumping rhythmically with the music, and that can give you a little kind of more of a snap to it. ratio very light, and this side chain is just missing off the sub of the kick. So when we're looking at the kick, which we can now see on here on our boss. So what I'm doing is I'm kind of just telling the compressor not to react to about 150. In fact, it was 100. We'll go to 150, and that's just not triggering the compression off and making it pump too hard. So that's why that's like that. And then really we want the needle just moving. It's just, as David Pensado would say, just kissing the sound, kissing the audio. And that gives us that sort of... so there, I've got it set quite snappy. Something like that would be fine. You hear that? You can hear it on the high end. It's just like pushing everything in together and just glues it. So that's without, and that's with. However, we don't want to be going to the bus just yet because there is another bus that I've missed out. And that's this. So the everything channel. Check this chart. All right. Okay. Hi T. Henricus, how are you doing? First time here and I'm intrigued. I'm in the process of in my template for writing rock metal music and have a tough time sorting out what to put on my mix bus. Right, okay, so you're in the right place. Right. Basically, because we're playing instruments, aren't we? There's a balancing act with the template for me. So one is I just want my stuff sounding as good as I can get it on the live, but obviously live being the optimum word here, I have to be able to use the thing live with almost zero latency. So depending on what guitar plugins you're using, you see like a lot of guitar plugins, not mentioning any names, will put latency onto your track. Now I use the Polychrome McLaughlin, and that's incredibly low. That's the lowest latency I've ever seen, right? And I've used everything pretty much. It's the lowest latency I've seen on a guitar plugin. So that's the first thing I go for if you're recording guitars, super low latency. So if you've got like, I've seen latency as high as, 2.4 milliseconds on a guitar plugin, which is like totally unreasonable. I've seen it sort of like what, common is about between like 1 and 1.5, which is fine for one plugin. But when you've got like 2, there's 3 milliseconds, 4, we've got like, we've got 6 milliseconds. Nearly stumbled on the maths there. All right, so it builds up and it builds up, and then you start feeling it. You start feeling that delay in attack when you're playing, especially if you're doing like a lot of shredding like I do. So it's really important that I save as much latency as I can. So literally I've got zero tolerance with it, pretty much, and everything that I've got in my template at the minute is zero latency. So that's the first thing. So like here, so EQ wise, just got quick fast, I'm using SSL 4KE. That's got everything you need and it's zero latency. You can see this by, I don't know if you're on Ableton, but when you hover on top of a plugin, you can see the latency is in fact 0. So that's absolutely brilliant. The other thing, so that's the first thing, just keeping the latency down and having something where you can write and it sounds good and it's inspiring you, and a lot of the mixing hard work is taken out for you. You know, that's primarily kind of what I want. I want a good starting point. And of course the SSL is really good. So then we come to the bus. Now, just for this, all I'm doing is on my bus, the first thing I've got here is the utility plugin. So the utility plugin there's two things I can do with this. I can mono the low end if I want, but I tend to do that actually in the tracks. So that's something I'll do here, say on the kick drum. I'll either mono or take one side, but there I can collapse it there. I find that SSL does an amazing job at the mono. Width, bang, done. And that kick's now mono. So a lot of sample kicks I get on like are in stereo and are quite not well, uncontrollable in a lot of ways. So we can mono the kick like that. What else can we do? I mean, you don't have to mono your kick, but you have to mono the low end. And then basically I can just do, more importantly, I can do a little bit of gain stage in here. So if it's running a bit too hot, I can turn things down. Okay, and then we have just the FabFilter Pro Q3, taking a little bit of low end off, and then basically I've just got the SSL gluing it a bit for now. But we're doing the everything bus now, and this isn't like a kind of mixing bus thing. This is more to do with effects, really. So what I like to do is so that'll be gone there. That's on there. Right, so I've got my usual high pass, low pass. So we need to change this. We need to change everything here. So that's now no input. And actually, instead of that going to bus, everything is going to go to everything, so to speak. Everything to the everything channel. And then the aim of this is I can you want to get that reverb in there as well. So we've got some effects there, yeah? That's the first thing. So the next thing is we can start adding a few other things to this. So one of the things I really like is the Ableton EQ8. EQ8. And a utility. So this is a cool little effect that I like to use. And I'm going to group them. So these two things are grouped. Now I just group them so I can switch them on and off, right? And I like these filters. So what I've done is I've made a kill switch there. And then what we can do is we can take the width down. And we'll take the volume down a bit as well. Normally I start at 1.5 minus 1.5. And then, so basically what's happening here is this is really a handy transition going into sort of like choruses or anything like that, or different sections. If you're wanting something to sound bigger and more powerful, then make the bit beforehand smaller. So in other words, we have this, and then so you listen to the hi-hat and the synth, you can hear it then go wider. There we go. Now, I need to go over to an old template because there's some other things we need to add in here. So yeah, so right, so this so Henricus, you'll find so one thing with me is you know, since 2014 you know, I got which is when I sort of relaunched my career as an artist, so to speak, and I produced over 122 tracks signed to different labels. I was on Armada, and it was all house music. But then I ended up starting a band with Thomas McLaughlin, who's been a friend of mine for, you know, a long time. And so we did that thing, and that got me back into shredding, basically. But fundamentally, what the reason I'm doing things the way that I'm doing with the template and not overcooking it is because I have a particular writing system that I use, which is super handy. You see, like, basically the creative process can be modularized into its different parts. And I mean, everybody's heard this a million times, but there is like a YouTube video where I kind of talk about this. So we have divergent and convergent thinking, and when we're divergently thinking, we want as many ideas as possible. We want to throw as much shit at the wall and see what sticks when we're writing. And I call this splurging. Rick Rubin calls it making seeds. But either way, what we're trying to do is we're just trying to make music without any judgment. And we want to be in flow, and we want it to feel as much of a performance as we can, and we don't want to feel that we're having to have any quality issues, because fundamentally what we're trying to do is cast the net wide on our ideas and not really chop anything down at that stage. So I run a thing called the music machine. Well, I call it the automatic music making machine, right? Actually, I need to look at mine, sort it out a bit. But I'll show you what it is. Here's one here. So Henrik, here's the machine, right? So we have, we'll ignore the sketchbook for now. So Splurgent, this is where I stick tons of ideas in. So this is all the stuff that I've just thrown in here that I've been making. And I really am not bothered about the quality of what it is, you know. It's the ideas, the seed of an idea I want. And then what happens is, I'll quickly go through this, is when there's something I'm interested in, and I hear something, I'm excited about it, and I think, oh, that could be something that goes into discovery. What is discovery? Discovery is an investigation of an idea, and then I run a session doing discovery sessions. Drafting is when I've finally found out what the music wants to be, what its purpose is, what are the potential stories. I'll move it into draft, and then that's when things become more of a beginning, middle, and end. And in the drafting process, you know, you're really interested in, as well as getting the sections to work in terms of their tension and release. So that's what that drafting is all about. Done, don't do anything, and done. It's a decision-making column where we just then wait a while and then decide if we want to release it. When we want to release, releasing is... Now, this is really interesting for me because the release section has a different meaning, okay, when I'm doing guitars to what it does if I'm just doing electronic music. When I was doing electronic music, I would find like a lot of the sort of cleaning up kind of stuff might naturally happen. That would kind of happen in the process as you're going along. So really, by the time I get to the release section, what I would find is it's more minor music tweaks, to do with harmony and arrangement, but then it's more so to do with the actual mixing. But the thing about the release is it tends to be very much convergent thinking. So when we're doing a mix, what we tend to have is a list of jobs to do that are convergent. They are a concrete binary. They are a yes/no answer. Okay, have I turned the hi-hats down? Yes, I have. Is the snare too bright? Does it need a bit of like high shelf EQ, just taming it down a little bit? Yes, I've done that. So those kind of decisions with the electronic side would be more like that. But when we come to guitar, what's really good is for me is to like literally blaze through all of these sections and get to release. And I'm not like, when I'm playing the guitar and I'm doing solos, I just want to know, is it good enough? Because as long as I know what the thing's meant to be, I don't have to, why obsess over perfection, right? When I'm not necessarily going to release the track, okay? So as long as I've got the vibe, all right, and what I can do is when it goes into basically the done column, I make the decision on to release it, and when I go into release, what happens there is pretty much the track gets gutted, and then I'll re-record all of the guitar parts and everything, and I'll redo those, and I'll do the proper tight performances, which will happen then. So tight performances, getting everything to sit nicely together, and then you're onto the mix, and I find that's absolutely a brilliant way of doing the guitars, rather than trying to get things to work very early on in the process when you're not necessarily you don't know if the idea is going to be releasable yet, or whether it's something that you want to release. Fundamentally, the rule there is I always think about it being, does this music, is it a good example of what it wants to be? And if it is, then it's fine to release. I don't necessarily have to like it. In fact, there's so much music that I've released that I'm not that fussed about. But people absolutely love it, and that's part of being an artist, isn't it? We're not going to like everything we release, but, who are we to then, stop the rest of the world hearing it? This is the thing. So that's kind of the workflow that I have. And funnily enough, because I should be pitching it more on here and I don't, basically I have a coaching group, and I'm taking on a few people at the minute for next month, so if anybody wants to start basically be in a group and they want to make tons of music really fast and better, in less time, then this is the place to go. So basically I was coached, and the guy who coached me, Mike Monday, he's like one of the top guys, right? This guy coaches Jack Jones, and I've been lucky to be coached by him early on in my dance career in 2014, and then actually I ended up coaching for him. So, and actually it's the coach training is brilliant. I mean, I have to, you turn up, it was once a month for years. Now it's like we've been allowed to do once a fortnight. But that's actually who actually trained me to do what I'm doing. Also, the other thing is I'm what you call a therapeutic musician. So it's a bit like a music therapist, except the only real difference is that I'll work within occupational therapy. Or I'll kind of double up with other, like nursing, occupational therapy, psychology, and help people get well with music. So that's the other thing, and that fits in beautifully with the coaching. But apart from that, I'm a shred guitarist, and I absolutely love you know, like the coaching has been the one thing that I'm really, really super passionate about at the minute. So I do have a couple of groups, and I also have a GoPro group. And so the GoPro group's very good because that's all actually not so much music making, but that's actually all about quitting your day job and going full time into music. Imagine that. So if you're interested in that, Henricus, or the other thing is to join the coaching group. It's basically it's a 2-hour session. We meet up once a week. It's cool. Right, so the next group, I've yet to like organise a time for it. Okay, this is the thing. Usually it's 8 o'clock UK time. But you can send me an email, and then I can email you back. I can email you some details. And then I can teach you sort of to set up the machine system. And then coach you just on making absolutely tons of music. But basically for the group, I've got an offer for people, right? Okay. So basically it is $237 a month. $237 a month is what you pay, and you're in a group, and there's no more than 4 of you in the group, so you get plenty of attention, and I'll take you through various creative exercises in that 2 hours. And we always start a session doing our wins, problems and options. I'll give you a quick coaching on any problems that you're having, and then we move on. We'll do some stuff, do some studio things, and then at the end we'll do our wins, problems and opportunities based on what we've been through, and then if there's any course correcting, we'll sort all of that out. But it's $237, and basically if you get to a month and you think, Tim, this is absolute rubbish, what have I got myself into? I'll just give you your money back. So there you go. But yes, it's $237, an absolute bargain. I mean, that's it's cheaper when you think about it. It's cheaper than a guitar lesson. And I tell you what, it's changed my life being coached. The other option you have is I do non-directive coaching sessions as well. So they're about an hour, and you can book in for that. So non-directive coaching sessions, different kettle of fish altogether, because when you're in with that, basically what happens is I just ask you questions based on what the information you're telling me, and then you solve your problems. I mean, the whole coaching thing, what it's about really is, I'm not interested in installing new skills. I'm just interested in helping you facilitate the skills that you've already got to the fullest potential, and solve all the problems that you're actually experiencing at the time. You know, like even when I'm talking about like templates, it's some way, I mean, I know how to put my template together because it's actually based on problems that I've had. Okay, and some of these problems obviously you guys may share, but what I don't like to get into is the idea of building something or learning something or doing something that's going to solve a problem that I haven't had, because it's not the direction that creatively I'm moving in. The only thing I'm interested in is solving the problems in the direction that I'm in, you know. And before I got coached, before I realised this, you know, I would spend ages trying to build skills and knowledge up before actually making any music, thinking, oh, I'm not ready yet, you know, that kind of thing, which is an absolute nonsense, because, you know, we've all got great music inside us, and it's just actually a question of us just using what we've got to get that out, you know. I mean, there's so many people who really inspirational artists who don't have amazing instrumental skills, you know, but they have great ideas, and they're able to use technology to leverage that. And you know, I think that's absolutely brilliant, you know. I mean, obviously there's a bit of a downside, as we do also have absolutely tons of horrible music released, but still, it's still people trying to find the voice, so I'm not going to beat them up. So yes, anybody who's interested in coaching, that would be that's kind of what's on offer. And that's really it. And I'll get back to my template. Right. Okay. But a new coaching group would be amazing, because I'm absolutely loving coaching at the minute. So that would be group 3 that I would be starting. A fresh new group. And here we go. Right, so yep, that's the machine. Back to this. Okay, now what was I doing? I was getting. So I'm just having to pull in an old thing here, and we have washout, and easy filter. And I can get rid of that. Was there anything else in that? No. So that's just from my previous template, and then I've just got a couple of things here which I like. So I've got that, and one gets you into a breakdown. One, if you're doing dance, gets you out of it, and that's it really for that. And that goes into everything, and then obviously our everything channel now goes into our bus. So that's really handy really to have there. If you don't want to do any of the wash in, wash out thing, there's the Andrew Wang Baby Audio thing that does all these transitions, which is really amazing. Just haven't had the time to really set something up. Oh right, no. So Henricus, like, so now what's happening is, because I'm fully going into. I mean, I'm still making my music on these morning sessions, but because I'm fully going into like the coaching thing now at the minute. So the coaching business I've ran for a couple of years, but I am really wanting to expand it a bit. So because I've released a lot of music, and I mean, there's still music going to be. There's still going to be McRocklin and Hutch stuff coming out. But what I'm really interested in is just creating a YouTube channel that's a resource for everybody, okay? That's got all the kind of useful stuff that's really helped me, all right? And basically, you know, because I think like on YouTube, there's a lot of confusing information out there, and we've all heard this before, and what you want to be doing is doing this, and if you're not doing this thing, you're doing it wrong, and all of that sort of stuff. So I'm going to, you know, I'm going to create a resource, okay, that focuses, and it'll cover like lots of stuff. Like sometimes I might review a plugin, but when or review or demonstrate a plugin that I'm using, okay, not reviewing a product, but reviewing something that I've used probably for a while, okay, that I always use, and I'll show people how I use it. But the thing is, I'm always going to focus on the why I'm doing that thing. So we'll look at a problem that I know that we all have, and then I'll focus the session basically on that. So that's what I'll be doing there. The other thing is there'll be coaching resources on there. I'll still be doing the lives. So it's going to be really fun. There'll also be guitar stuff as well. So there's a lot of interesting stuff I want to share on guitar. So I mean, I was you know, a typical 90s alternative picking legato shred person, and to sort of fit in, and I'm still fitting in, with the modern world of guitar, you have to learn multiple techniques, you know, and there's a lot of things that didn't sit right with doing that in my head that I had to overcome. So I'm going to share all of those wonderful things with everybody, you know. One of them being is I now have to learn multiple techniques like economy picking, alternate picking, and legato. And, you know, like, how do I practice all of these things? Surely I'll be learning multiple things and I'll be rubbish at all of them instead of being, like, amazing at just one. So there's that kind of, like, you know, you think you're going to narrow down, because you're expanding, you think you're going to basically narrow down your ability of being a master of something. And that's not necessarily true. And there's Chili, just as I say, being a master. Here he is, the Grandmaster himself, Chili Shreddy Mosh. Here he is. Hey, hi Chili, how you doing? So no, I mean this is fine. You know, I'm building my template, and you know, the mornings for now, it's all about chatting. It's all about music. It's all about your music as much as it is about my music these days. In fact, I'm more interested in what everybody else is doing. Because it's inspirational, isn't it? I mean, I kind of know what I'm doing. Fear not the man who knows 1,000 kicks. Fear the man who practices a single kick 1,000 times. Absolutely. And this is why, basically, when I was producing dance music, I know it's not this kind of kick, Chili. A lot of my tracks just used the same kick drum. So there you go. It works in music and in martial arts. Yeah, right, okay. Back to this, eh? What am I doing? I should have done like, oh, here's one I made earlier. And then, yeah. Okay. Right, so we've got everything piping into the bus, haven't we? Right, everything's in there. And that's sounding alright. Now, all good. So I'm just wondering, I'm sure I had a different one of these. Oh, chaos. It's better. So, yeah, just getting the right. Where's the open hi-hat? Needs switching on, but it does. Right, there we go. Lots of reverb on that. So we can, I mean, what I like to do is I like to just put in a little bit of EQ on stuff, and then it doesn't matter really what sound it goes on, it's like a good starting point. And I just get it to where I think it sounds good, really. Find the meat of that snare. Out there. Now, it's really good actually, this SSL, because you can switch the EQ into different modes, and I like this orangey one. Apparently this is more like a pull text, so it's attenuating, it's like boosting and cutting at the same time. take a little bit of 1K out. Oh, there we go. Very nice. Bit of compression. Go for 4. See what that does. Take a bit the lows out. And we're done. And then we can just gain match it as well. So there's a couple of ways I can do this. I can either do it on the fader there, or I've got it sort of here. So I can just kind of put it back to where it was. Get the kick going. Get the kick more focused. And we're back in. Just some ballpark settings that sound good on most stuff. Alright, let's check the chart. Yeah, we went into break beats. And there we go. And then probably got time to do a quick something or other. So I've got a fairly I've only been upgrading really one instrument. What am I using for bass? Tal. So I've been I've been listening to an artist on New Retrowave called Stills, and I've been noticing that sort of like a lot of artists will use more digitally sounding saw wave basses. So I'm quite interested in finding something similar vibe. But what you have to do is you have to put a sub with them because they're quite unstable. So we could try something. Let's have a look. That'll be something. It's quite good, isn't it? Alright, let's try and pop that in. Okay, we're in B minor. And then what we could do is we could try and make it wide. I'll use this. Then we'll get some sub on there. I think the interesting thing about this is actually we'll just use Serum for the sub. And just initialize. But to be fair, I'm not that fond of that bass. But I'm liking that. So, here we go. I know what I'm doing. I wonder why that's gone out of tune. Oh, you need to reset the MIDI. Oh, there's my clock. Oh. Yeah, right. Where was I? Okay. So the thing that happens here is it's like getting the X factor, isn't it? Which is what we're going to talk about tomorrow. So tomorrow's all going to be about getting a bit of character into your template, right? So that's a lovely bit of, you know, if I think, well, what's a good example of synthwave? Then potentially kind of that's it. You know, bang a guitar over it. But we need to have something different on there. Tune up first though. Intonation on this guitar needs sorting out. I should have warmed up before I picked this up, you know. Right, so, are there any questions before I head off? Try and make a section I can solo over. Take that off, take that up. Right, okay. My hands will hardly move. It's that cold in here. Anyway, I digress. So tomorrow we're going to have a look at the X Factor, or the Britain stroke Americans Got Talent template move. So we're just going to have a look at things that can make little options that I use anyway that kind of make things sound a little bit more interesting. So don't miss that out. And I'll see you all tomorrow. All right. I think it's time for me to go. I think I've got the school run to look at. So wish me luck. All right, guys. I think that's it. Yeah, looking forward to tomorrow. So I'll see you then. Bye.